I love you. Welcome back to the Couch Potatoes, to a refreshing new and also previously on episode. We've done some stuff before. We're going to retalk it again. I think it's the first time for us. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, so, we're retalking a video.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, definitely the first time we've done that. But it's the potato pick, and it's what the people wanted. So here we are.
What the people want!
I didn't bother rewatching it, but only because I've seen it like a bazillion times, and I've been really busy. Right. I'm sorry.
I rewatched it because it was October 1st, and I was like, man, that sounds like a beautiful way to start off the best month of the year.
Yeah, it would be.
Fuck yeah.
It would be, but
thank you.
I needed to squeeze in the rental, so I just figured,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But it's okay. I know this movie very well.
Do you now?
I do.
Well, let's start talking about it. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am Pennywise the Clown. I am the Faceless Leon. This is for Green and Faceless on the Couch.
Copyright.
I'm going to say that again.
The only way I'm ever going to talk to Stephen King is because he's going to copyright us.
Oh, yeah, because I claim to be Pennywise. Shit.
Yep.
So, I also...
He'll come after us for $19.19.
Yeah, he sure will. Okay, so we're not talking about Stephen King. Neither of these have anything to do with Stephen King besides that Cabin in the Woods kind of has to do with everything.
Yeah, I was going to say Cabin in the Woods definitely had a couple monsters that were inspired by him.
Yeah, that's true.
Or I guess shout-outs to Easter eggs.
Cabin in the Woods. We're talking about Cabin in the Woods first, I'm sure. We watched this movie a lot. We, like we said in our previous review, I want to try to say things other than what we said in our previous review, but you didn't re-listen, so that's going to be hard. Yeah.
Yeah. I meant to re-listen, but there's certainly going to be things on my end that are just going to be complete repeats.
So, yeah, that's okay. I think people will still appreciate it because I think we are better at this than we used to be. If you want to compare and contrast our reviews, I probably
our rookie performance with this one.
Yeah, our rookie performance with this one. You can go back.
It was literally like our 6th episode. Like I had to go back really far to find it.
We had a couple episodes in that first September, and then we went right into your horror obsession.
Yeah, we did.
There's also a gnat in here, and it's driving me nuts. So,
but yeah, we drove right into my horror obsession because that's who I fucking am, man. And I remember that episode we had we called it a threesome. Nowadays, we would have probably called it a John or Smackdown, kicked one of them out. But
maybe I don't know.
It was technically a John or Smackdown for 3 films because it was a comedy.
Yeah, it was comedy horror.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Truth.
Cabin in the Woods, Tucker and Dale,
that's
and
right. Evil Dead 2.
Yeah. Was it Evil Dead?
Yes, Evil Dead 2. Yep. Because Evil Dead is not really a comedy, so if you want to hear what we say about those 2 films, you go back and watch that one. It's one of the few that I think are worth going back for. I think once we start doing the playlists, the show is very listenable. And I'm going to have to kill this gnat at some point.
Well, you kill that gnat. You go ahead and kill that gnat, and I'm going to kill our shameful
plug
product placement. if you want to go ahead and go down to patreon.com/greenandfaceless, check out our tiers there. Because if you think we're really listenable, you can help us out a bit. Help us become more listenable.
That's right. Spread the word. Yeah, we would love to get better equipment so that we could do this together or remotely better. We're doing it remotely now, as in separately, and sometimes that's a struggle. Internet's not always consistent out where we live, unfortunately.
Out in the boondocks.
Yeah.
I was also going to say that you should, if we have a new exclusive episode out. I almost forgot to add that we have a new exclusive episode of Bangers and Hash. So if you are interested in hearing our opinions on newer releases or newer television that you're watching, that's where you'll find it. We've put it on our Patreon there. It's a $5 tier and above. And we have a new episode out where we talk new films. I talk some horror films that came out.
Yeah. So, including Barber Ian.
Barber Ian.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you're interested in hearing about Barber Ian, come on such a nice down. He's such a nice guy.
Him and his clippers.
So this movie, Cabin in the Woods, it follows a group of students played by these 5 adults.
That's true.
Well, some of them might have been young enough. I don't know, but Fran Krantz is at least 10 years older than us, and he was playing somebody who was supposed to be like 5 years older. But that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's also very possible that Fran Krantz is just like a 30-year-old hanging out with college students, because like the only the only thing we're told is that back in freshman year, him and Jules were sweeties in their dorm room. He could have been 32 hanging out in the dorm room.
So Marty, played by Fran Krantz, is he's a stoner. But he's also an electrical engineer. I don't know if I'll be able to remember all of what they're studying, but
we assume that he's an electrical engineer just because of his expertise with an elevator at the end of the film.
That's right,
near the end of the film.
No. I'm pretty sure somebody confirms that he's an electrical engineer at some point in the movie, like some joke in the movie.
I
guess you just watched it, didn't you?
Yeah, there's many times where we've had like discussions with old roommates and stuff trying to figure out what all they did, because like they're incredibly smart teenagers for your typical Cabin in the Woods film. Like normally you have dumb ones who are just like out there to smoke and have sex. Well, they're out there to smoke and have sex.
But smoking and having sex.
They're in college, you're right. Yeah, but I mean they are out there for those two things, but they're also out there to they're also just smarter than your average bear.
Right.
Which is hilarious.
Yes.
Really hilarious. I love it.
It does add to the comedy quite a bit, but also messes up there's this organization in the background that it's actually how we start the movie, is following Hadley and Sitterson. Hadley played by Bradley Whitford and Sitterson played by Richard Jenkins.
This was like one of my first like introductions to Bradley Whitford, like outside of the West Wing. Like,
sure.
I love him as an actor. He is hilarious, and like this role of his is fucking perfect in this. Like,
yeah, I know funny. We talked about him with Get Out. I know we did. That was actually the same year, wasn't it?
Same year, same month.
Well, anyhow, they help run an organization. They're ran like a big corporation, but they are into some kind of ritual thing, you find out. Yeah. And I don't want to give away all the details of that, but they I
think it's fair to say that it's a global like government program. Like every country has it.
Yeah, they do.
It's one of the few like unknown things that we're all agreed upon, that we all have this program, this governmental entity.
Yeah, and I think I'll go ahead and say that it is a ritual that they are performing, and it has to do with recruiting, unbewitting to them, these students. So we already talked about Marty, and you mentioned Jules. That's played by Anna Hutchinson. And I couldn't tell you what she is studying, but she's roommates with Dana. Pre-med. And Dana, she's like some kind of philosophy major or something. She's played by Kristen Connolly, and she's roommates with Anna, but Anna is also dating Kurt. She's dating Chris Hemsworth. And he also takes philosophy courses, but he's on the football team.
Sociology.
Thank you. He's on the football team with Holden, who is played by Jesse Williams. And I don't know, he studies math, maybe?
I think also sociology.
Sociology as well? Okay. Maybe.
I think so.
Well, anyways, they're all smart. And they go to Kurt's cousin's cabin in the woods and are being surveilled by this organization. And I think that's pretty much the synopsis. And now we can talk about whatever the fuck we want with the movie.
Right. Yeah, the whole thing is just a beautiful look on the horror genre in general of movies.
Something I said
and
in the other episode was that it was a beautiful baby. And I stand by that.
It's a beautiful baby. That's fair. It is a beautiful baby. It looks at the whole, like, the movies, because, like, every single horror movie has your basic formula. You know, not every single one. There's a lot that go outside the formula, but your standards, your classics, like the Cabin in the Woods films, Friday the 13th, Halloween, they all have these characters, they all have these situations. Specifically, you have the doppelganger. There's typically somebody who warns you not to go to a certain place or warns you of a certain evil. You got to ignore them. The Harbinger, you're right. What did I say?
The doppelganger, which is somebody who looks like
the doppelganger.
Somebody.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, the Harbinger is the one who warns them. But, you know, and another issue is they have to basically choose their fate, their outcome.
Yeah.
You know, it's their decision to go to the cabin. It's their decision to, like, you know, to go into the basement in this movie, and also in, like, Evil Dead. Because that's where this one gets a lot of inspiration from, is those, like, Evil Dead films. And like many other films, of course, but like that's the specific, like, they're in the cabin in the woods, shit's going down in the basement, crazy murderer comes around, and it's, I don't know, I love the dissection of this genre, and how Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard pull it off. I do know I talked about a funny scene behind the cameras. I think I remember talking about this in the other episode, and I think it's fun to mention here again. But, like, Joss Whedon is apparently really horrible to write with, because Drew Goddard said that Joss Whedon would write one line and then just be like, throw his pen down and go, boom! Like, fuck yeah! Meanwhile, Drew's like, alright, well, I got like 5 pages. Come on, buddy.
So, and you know, since then, we're not big fan of Josh Whedon anymore, because of reasons that he chose.
Yeah, he hasn't repented enough yet.
Not yet. No, I don't think so. So, I mean, also it's just like, I know we talked a lot about it during the deep dive of the Justice League. But, you know, if you're treating people not well based off of certain things, society's not going to take it anymore. At least in the current climate. There's been a lot of pushback. At least
a portion of society.
Yeah, there's been a lot of pushback from the rest of another portion of society, but hopefully we'll move past that. The crazy
dichotomy we're living in.
Yes, yeah.
It's a painful one.
Yeah, for sure. So, beyond that, let's forget about Joss Whedon. I think I said his name right that time. And move on to, so they have to choose. And when we say that they have to choose, it's a choice to transgress against these spirits or whatever they are. This is from movie to movie that we're talking. Like, this is, like you said, definitely a dissection of the horror genre. And in this movie, though, there is a literal treasure trove that they have to choose from.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit in that basement.
Yeah, there sure is. And that part's a lot of fun too. Just like, even on your first watch when you don't know about all the things that they're connected to, these different heirlooms and knickknacks and things.
But like as you're seeing them, you can pinpoint the Easter eggs because they all like correlate to certain things. Like specifically, the puzzle box correlates to, I think it's called like Jigsaw Head or something like that.
Yeah, Buzzsaw Head or something. Yeah,
Buzzsaw Head. Yeah, almost complete like parody of Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Right,
and like you can see all like and that's what makes that scene fun is because you're seeing them pick all this stuff up and you're kind of thinking, well, what are they going to awaken? You know, it's like, like I remember the first time I watched this, I was just like trying to sit down. I was just like, what kind of like, what kind of weird thing are they about to inspire here?
Right.
And ever since then, it's left me wanting because it's like, I love what we got. I love the story we get and the villains that they awaken. But at the same time, I'm just like, I wonder what that monster would have really been like. Like, it really does make you want to see the other monsters they thought of.
Let me ask you then, would you like a prequel or sequel?
Yeah, so that's the big thing is everybody has always been wanting a prequel to this film where they see you gather the monsters. I don't think there could be a sequel. I will say that.
Yeah, no, I don't think there can be a sequel really. Unless you want an apocalypse, and that's kind of a spoiler.
I'm interested in the failure.
Yeah, me too.
Because they mentioned that there's one time that the United States failed. 1986 was it? I can't remember.
I think so.
Like I know I've looked up what movies came out then, and people have like a general idea of which movies they're talking about. Like, let's just look it up. Let's do it.
Somebody where they all survived. Was it Freddy? Was it Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors? Because they all...
Let's see.
A lot of them survived.
I don't know how to specifically look for this.
Okay, alright. Well...
What movie failed the ritual?
You are saying, though, that you would be happy with the prequel.
Okay, what I was saying, I'll just stop looking. What I was saying was that I don't think there's need for an actual prequel unless they do the failure. Everybody else wants to see the prequel where they gather all the monsters, where the government begins this corporation. They want to see the origin story.
That would be like you would have to go way back, I feel like. Because
I don't think so. I think it would just be like a 1940s film, like era-esque film. You know, you'd have to determine where the I guess maybe it could have started in the ritual 20s.
Before that, though. That's what I'm.
But who says there had to be somebody doing the ritual? That's the thing. Is like maybe these gods have been sleeping for 10,000 years, like ever since the world was burning. And then they just woke up at a certain year, like 1940 something. And to appease them, the governments were like, all right, let's just all make sacrifices every year and keep them asleep.
See, though, I don't feel like that, though, because at the end with the cameo of Sigourney,
right,
she kind of implies that it's always been this way.
That is true. Well, I don't know, but that's what everybody wants, man. I don't care.
Well, that's not what we want.
It.
We want 1986 anyways. So
yeah, everybody. I've seen a lot of people talking on fan sites and everything where they're like, "I want to see them gathering the monsters. I want to see them setting up the organization." And like, I get it. Like, origins are fun, but like, I don't know. I want to know what other film failed because then you have the ability to at least root for the virgin. Because as they mentioned in the film, it's like usually the virgin is the last one to survive, and
it's
her
okay
death
if they
is optional.
Survive.
Yeah. And so that's one of the exciting things I feel like about the failure is we wouldn't know the outcome. We would just have an idea about the outcome.
Right.
And it can be completely different. You know, it can be completely different monsters, completely different organization at the time, like. But, I mean, at the same time, I think it's one and done. I think it's perfect as one and done. I really don't want any more. But if they do a prequel, I don't give a fuck about the origins of this government entity. I care about, seeing another film like this.
Right. Okay, so the only reason why I asked is because you seemed to be alluding that you'd be okay with that, and in the last review, you said that you were very much against it. But if there was anything, it would be 1986. So, pretty much the same opinion, but I just was curious, so I was pushing you a little bit. So, nice. I think we are pretty much ready for closing statements. We have already reviewed this. There's a lot to be said, but I'm sure that we said a lot of it in the last review. However, would we like to maybe share our closing statements from then and then give new closing statements?
Or let's give our closing statements now.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Because my opinions fluctuate on this movie so much because I've seen it a lot.
Right.
Like literally once a year for like 10 years straight.
So you don't want to be
once a year.
You don't want to be influenced from that past.
Yeah, opinion. I don't want to remember what I had said then. Not yet. Like I would definitely listen back to it and be interested in what how I've changed. But like I know one thing that's changed, I think, is my score because I give it 4 stars because I was fucking feeling it this year. I feel like the last time I watched it, I wasn't feeling it, because I was just
I thought you still gave it 4 stars though.
Maybe I did. I feel like I fluctuate with this one a lot, where it goes from 4 stars to 3.5 to 4 stars, like never below 3.5. I don't know. I really love this deconstruction because it really just gets everything right about the horror genre, and the only things that like really bother me are some of the kills because it's just like I wanted a little more from that character because they were so damn good, and like I don't know. I fucking dig it though. It's so much fun. Great writing, great acting. So yeah, 4 stars.
Cool. I think I'm sure I still give this movie a face and a half. I'm sure I gave it then. I love at the time. It came out at the right time for us. It was literally our freshman year of undergrad, and it was basically written like a college student would be approaching an essay. So it was really interesting to me. And I know I said the exact same thing in my closing statement earlier, but we'll see. So, this time around, I will say that there's nothing, I don't think I have any complaints about the movie either. Like, not any real ones. I don't think that there's anything that would be added to this movie that would make it better. Honestly, I can't. More explanation of things would just ruin the mystique of it, I think. So if there was a prequel, I'd watch it, but they just better not ruin this fucking movie. That's all I gotta say. So let's nice. Listen to our old ones.
Closing statement for you?
Yeah, obviously I think we made it evident that we really love this movie. Mm-hmm. And I do. I feel like same thing with you with what you said about Tucker and Dale. I think I spent enough time away from this movie to make it fresh for me again. If you watch it over and over again, it is gonna lose a little bit of it. But like I said, we watched it over and over again because we loved talking about it. Like there's a lot to this movie, a lot packed in, and I wouldn't necessarily call it a comedy by any means. Just the parts that are funny are so funny that you gotta lump it in with these movies, and definitely 100% worth it. You should see this one.
Yeah, agree with that all 100%. I still give it 4 stars. I have seen this way too many times, and it did get old for me. There was I think 3 years ago where I was like, I can't watch this movie anymore.
Right.
And so I haven't watched it for 3 years. And again, we watched it this year, and I was like, well, maybe not 3 years, maybe it was like 2, but I watched it again. I'm like, yeah, it's fresh again, and I really enjoyed it again this time. I was able to, I was still on my phone for a good portion of it because I remembered most of it. Mm-hmm. But it still laughed at all the jokes. The kills are boring in this movie, honestly. There's not many great kills, and a lot of them just kind of like happen and then are done with. But I'm not there for that. It's like where most horror movies, the kill is kind of a fun, exciting part of it. Here, I'm there for everything else. It's all so wonderfully done. Just an absolute, yes, it does get old if you watch it a lot. But for that first viewing, it's just great. There's nothing wrong with it, I don't think. Maybe the very, very last shot isn't as pleasing as I would want it to be. I won't spoil what that is, of course. I have a certain other type of description for that last shot that I would have liked to see, but I don't care. It's fun all the way through.
I think like with that last shot comes another what do I want to say? Not theme or motif, really. It's not. Maybe the message there. Yeah. In that is what something that they were trying to say with this film. There, which I'll let the audience come to that.
The audience come to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my closing statement. I love this movie. Still gets a 4-star rating. Marty, played by Franz Kranz, is honestly top 5 favorite characters of all time. I would say easy.
Star of the show.
Yeah, like he just nailed it. I mean, all the actors do a great job.
Oh, they do.
But for me, Franz Kranz is just over and above and beyond. That's what I'm looking for.
So well written. Like that's. I mean, Franz Kranz obviously brought a whole shit ton to the role, but Marty is so well written.
Well, it's like it's also like when I found out that like Franz Kranz was like in his 30s or whatever when he did this, like I literally thought the guy was like 20 because he just pulls off a young college student so well.
Yeah. He even looks like Shaggy Rogers.
He would be a perfect choice for Shaggy.
Yeah, he'd be.
I mean, Matthew Lillard was perfect too.
Oh yeah,
but if he wants to pass the baton,
there you go. It did give him laryngitis.
Okay,
boy, we talk, man. We talk and talk.
We did talk a lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
it's like we're like enjoying our voices or something. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I also think that my closing statement then was a little better than I was more informed. I feel like I was more up for that closing statement than I was for this one.
Maybe. And, maybe I was too. But, this is a re-review. So, I guess, yeah.
And I think it's also brought down a bit by technical difficulties. We're back to being in different rooms right now, and I think we're getting used to being in the same room.
Yeah,
and that energy. So I think that brings a weird, different vibe, like trying to battle lag and shit.
It's funny.
I really like what I had to say.
We mostly talked about Franz Kranz mostly.
I know. We talked about Franz Kranz a lot. I gave him high praise. Top 5 favorite characters. I don't think that holds true anymore.
Really?
I think I was talking out of my ass then. Yeah.
Who? So he's not even in your top 5? Oh, top 5 of all time.
He's definitely high up there. He's definitely high up there. But of all time, I don't know if
I thought you meant in this movie. It's like there's only 9 characters. How can it be?
I know, right?
Top 5.
I definitely love him. I will still agree with the praise I gave Franz Kranz. He is still my favorite part of the movie. But I think everything I had to say still rings true.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, then let's have a soda pop break. I guess I didn't say if I thought what I said rings true. Honestly, I wish that I had taken the time to watch this movie again. When I listened to our review of it, it made me want to watch the movie again, even though we talked about how overwatching it can be a problem. So, it's something that I always want to return to. That's the only thing I'll add on to that review. So, moving on. Soda pop break. Let's do it.
Soda?
All right, I'll be right back.
I don't drink soda anymore. I'm drinking tea.
Well, good for you.
I love you.
Sarah wanted me to tell you that she loves you.
Oh, so kind. I love her too.
Honey, he says he loves you too.
Oh my god, you're embarrassing me.
So, did we make it back? Did we land?
I think we made it. Okay. I'm still here.
We landed it.
I'm alive and well.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm still
I wish I would have gotten that out of there before I said we're back. Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave Franco. You made a movie.
Yeah.
I think he's done that before.
Yeah, you're the brother that's not weird right now.
I don't know. I haven't been keeping up on James here recently. I know there was some weird stuff around the disaster movie time, but I don't remember that or if there was anything since.
I think he's. Yeah, I still don't remember either. Like, I don't pay attention to drama.
Right.
I try to ignore a lot of real world drama.
Yeah, if I recall, it seemed like his side of the story was that he presented a contract and thought that the contract was understood, but somebody on the another actor's management or agency side did not make this woman informed of what was going to happen on set. And she felt
I really don't know. I feel like he's still in bad waters.
Maybe,
but Dave Franco, I don't think
that's his side that I've heard. And I want to believe it because I enjoy his work and think that he's a serious artist, but maybe he's a bad man too. I can't say.
He might be a bad man because the only thing I can say is I know it's not just one woman, there's many women. And, typically when there's many women, and even when there's just one woman,
right,
I typically side with them.
You do have to side with the victim. I believe that she felt that the situation was wrong. I just want it to be a problem of miscommunication. You want to see the good instead of a malicious attack. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I understand. Yeah. I mean, I too enjoy his stuff. I understand wanting to see the good in somebody, but I also just don't know enough about the situation. I don't either. So.
If there's multiple women, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to back down even from what I said. So.
I'm going to remove foot from mouth.
Yeah. Plop. So this
But now we're here to talk about a movie written, produced, and directed by his brother, Dave Franco.
And I real quick, I did want to derail us just super quick because we didn't do it before.
Oh, all right.
This was suggested by our Patreon members, Doc Mike Hamilton and Don Callahan.
Yeah. Yeah, she was furious at you for getting missing.
Was she? I'm so sorry, Don. Oh.
I got a gold star from my mom for being like, good job of stopping him so quickly.
Yeah, we just kept it in, man. We should have just edited it out. I should have just redone it.
No, it's funnier. It's funnier.
It is. I feel scored, and it's hilarious.
Haha! And you'll never forget because now it's public knowledge.
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't have known about this movie. Let's be honest.
No,
I think I've seen the poster because the poster's really cool. I love the poster. If you're not looking at the poster out there, listeners, you have your standard poster size, I will say. At the very top, in the top right corner, upside down, is Earth and a house. Yeah. And the rest of the poster on down is the sky, a night sky. And a person is falling right in the middle of the poster. It's really well done. I love it. It's a really nice poster. But I think that's the only thing about this movie I knew anything about. I think I've seen the poster, but that's it. I've never seen the movie, never even heard about it.
I didn't even know Dave Franco. Saw a trailer, but I really thought that when it was suggested to us that they were talking about Barber Ian.
I know, right? And as I mentioned in the Bangers and Hash episode, for those of you who would like to get a little sneak peek at Bangers and Hash, since you might not be subscribed and might not hear this episode, I do think that Barbarian, let's be honest, would have paired pretty well with The Rental. The Rental does pair pretty well with Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
But I think Barbarian and The Rental are on a very similar level of focus, I will say.
Yeah. This has all of the plot points that are required in the ritual of the Cabin in the Woods.
Indeed.
So it does really pretty work. But yeah.
And they also play with the virgin joke a bit too.
They do. With which character?
Do you remember how, like, in Cabin in the Woods? Remember how in Cabin in the Woods where it's just like everybody kept saying, like, well, you're the virgin character. Right. And she's like, but I'm not a virgin. You know, It's like this movie is definitely, it's the same thing where the virgin is most certainly not a virgin.
Yeah. But she's married.
But she does fit the exact role.
Yeah. She is the faithful one. The other ones seem to all have problems with that. Josh less so, but he is jealous and protective. Which, so he kind of fits the athlete role, we'll say, and Charlie will be the scholar. I guess
annoyingly so.
But I don't like having Michelle at being the whore, which is one of the two that.
Well, see, that's the thing is you only have 4 in this one. You don't have your standard 5, and I think the whore can be tossed out and make Michelle the fool,
unless Josh is the fool.
I would make Michelle the fool because of what she did when she gets crazy with the drugs by herself.
Right. Well, so we talked about who the characters are. Those are the 4. It's 2 couples.
Indeed.
Charlie and Josh,
our scholar, is played by live action Beauty and the Beast, Dan Stevens.
I forgot that he did that. But he also...
Honestly, and that's the thing. If I have one complaint about this movie, I mean, I got quite a few. Nothing big. This movie's pretty good. But, one of my bigger complaints was with Dan Stevens acting as Charlie. He seems very... hold on, I'm gonna wait until my dog stops barking. He seems very emotionless at times, and it comes across really well at the end because he goes kind of crazy at the end, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he really shines in this role, I think. But there's moments where people will say something or ask him a question or something, and his response just feels so like I'm reading the line to you off camera.
Right.
Well. But that is his character too, so it's not a shot at Dan Stevens because his character Charlie is
very calculated.
It comes across as it's a very much of a personality trait, but it just threw me at times.
Right. But I think so. Dan Stevens perfected his American accent in Legion, right? Playing David Haller, and and before that, everybody knew him as Matthew Crowley in Downton Abbey. But is that even right? Did I give the right name? I'm going to have to look that up now. I'm embarrassed. These are shows I like.
Oh, no.
Crowley. Yeah, I said it right.
Nice.
Well, anyhow, so, yeah, I can't say that it's the accent work, but I do feel like he's come off of some roles that had a lot more rehearsal time probably than this very low budget movie. I feel like he feels a little under rehearsed to me.
Yeah,
and some of the other actors, you know, they're probably more used to working that way because they're not as big of a name as him yet, I would say.
Right. I mean, except for Alison Brie.
Oh, yeah, besides Alison Brie, but she seemed fairly on top of it.
Yeah, I really liked Alison Brie in this. I thought she was really fun.
Yeah.
I really... it's kind of almost like a tearjerker watching the direction her story takes. Like, that's another thing I liked about this movie is it's a horror film, but when the four characters get out to this rental, this bed and breakfast thing that they're at, it becomes kind of like a deconstruction of their characters as they all kind of fall apart through their own bad decisions and through their own bad discussions of conversation and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed that because it's not really like a horror film until after they've all been deconstructed. Once they've all been deconstructed, like pulled apart, then that's when the crazy shit starts happening.
Yeah.
And, like, I really like that because it's definitely set up as a horror film the whole time. Like, there's nothing about this movie that doesn't feel like it's a horror, gonna be a horror film. But there's nothing really traumatic until then.
Here I come with an ADHD moment. So earlier, I was referring to Michelle when we were going through what positions they might take in the ritual. When I meant to be talking about Mina, played by Sheila Vaughn.
Gotcha.
Yes. But Alison Brie
she would be the
Michelle,
virgin.
They didn't say. Sheila would be?
Mina would. Yeah, Mina is the virgin character. And
but
that's what I was joking about.
She also
because
very much could be the horror in the thesis.
But if you're going by the cabin in the woods logic, if you're going by the cabin in the woods logic, the last one to live is Mina. Sorry, spoilers.
That's true.
And the first one to die would be, sorry again, spoilers, Michelle, the whore.
That's right. That's right. But she's not, though, at the same time. So it doesn't quite fit, but it does, I'm sure, fulfill the ritual because I think the gods really just want blood. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's why I was saying Michelle works as the fool. I think Michelle is a fool, and Mina is the virgin, and they play off of the virgin joke because she most certainly is not a virgin.
That's true.
That's what I was saying.
That's true, but Taylor is the whore. Because they die first.
Yeah, but he's like... That is true.
Lots of spoilers here, folks. I'm so sorry. Taylor, played by Toby Huss, he's like the manager of the cabin that gets rented by these two couples. Charlie and Mina work together, and they just got this big deal, and they want to have a vacation before the work starts with it to celebrate. So they bring Michelle, Charlie's wife, and Josh, Charlie's brother, and Mina's boyfriend. And Taylor seems they're very convinced that Taylor is racist against Mina, who is of Muslim descent.
Yeah, and that stuff's nice. I really do like that. The inclusion of that, like that racism and how it affects the horror mood. And how the story plays off of that and how it bounces from that.
Right.
And like they all have their own issues too. Like I really like their own small insecurities. Like Josh is very much like, I don't deserve to be in this good relationship. Right. He's like, I'm a bad person. I got anger issues and all these other issues.
I just got out of prison recently-ish.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Jesus. And then Charlie is just a complete know-it-all factoid. I've been Charlie in many situations, and I hate it. Like
me too.
Yeah, it's like,
honestly, sadly, Charlie and Josh kind of reminded me of me and my brother, and it made me feel bad.
Honestly, I felt bad because like Josh reminded me of your brother a lot in regards to just in look in general. He has these like
he does
similar
have that
body
personality build. That's just kind of abrasive, but it's a shield, really.
Yeah,
he's just very anxious. My brother is.
He's a well-meaning henchman.
Yes,
even though he's not a henchman, he owns his own company, but still, like he has that. Yeah,
he wouldn't work for anybody. He wouldn't work for anybody, but
no,
yeah, maybe mercenary work. He might be suited for that. That makes him sound like a sociopath. I'm sorry. My brother is not.
But like Charlie. Yeah, but Charlie has like other issues too. Like Charlie is, he's a cheater. He's got chronic cheating in his history.
He might actually be a sociopath. And like as you said, Charlie.
Yeah, really, honestly, might be. And Michelle, as you said, is like the innocent one. Like literally, I mean, there are issues in her trust and her reactions to things. But for the most part, she's like the only well-meaning innocent one there.
I want to know how that. Okay. So drugs are involved in this plot. I'm just going to say that the first night, Michelle, for absolutely no reason, introduces X into the living room and is like, hey, look what I brought for a good time. And they're like, okay, well, you want to do some? And she's like, oh, you know what? I want to go to sleep. But you guys go ahead.
I was like,
I was laughing so fucking hard. On?
Yeah, because like you can tell that like in certain smaller moments, like you can tell that like yes, maybe they have taken ecstasy before, like the actors in real life, Dave Franco in real life, like sure, I'm sure in that business they certainly have experienced that drug. But like there are other moments that were just so funny, like what you're talking about, where she brings it into the room and she's like, you guys have fun and just save me some for tomorrow. We'll all do it again tomorrow and have a good time. They're not going to want to do it again the very next fucking day.
Yeah, and they obviously don't.
Again, I've only seen ecstasy. I've never tried ecstasy.
You've only seen it.
But just from seeing it, I know you have a pretty fucking crazy hangover the next day where you literally just don't want to do fucking jack shit.
Yeah.
You're just like, nope. Well, I just need to relax.
Yeah. So that actually happens with Charlie and Mina, and they decide to just relax while Michelle and Josh. There's other reasons for that too. Yes, there is. Michelle and Josh, then they go on a hike that everybody was supposed to go on to, and then later that night, she's the only one that gets fucked up because the rest of them are like, no, man,
Yeah.
Like, of course they would be. But they're also all pissed at each other. So she's, like, not in the right frame of mind to take this drug. And then when all the bad shit's going on, she's the only one that's high. And I have to wonder, what is this movie like where Michelle, who seems like the only really decent-minded one after the shit goes down, how it would have played out different? I am curious.
Right. I mean, like, and she wasn't in a good mindset either because she almost certainly should not have taken it by herself, for one. And then two, she shouldn't have taken it when she was so angry at Charlie because she had just found out that Charlie cheated. They had a history of cheating with his current girlfriend while dating his previous girlfriend. Like that
she knew that he was still with somebody when they met. But she didn't know that it was his habit. And that brings in kind of the rest of the plot. There is some suspicion from Josh towards Charlie and Mina, I'll say. I don't want to give away too much about it. But there is some suspicion there, and it does make tensions rise between everybody. Like, the four of these people should not be out in the wilderness together, really.
No.
But the real shit starts happening when Mina discovers that there's a camera in the showers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
pretty disturbing shit for a bed and breakfast.
That's right. Pretty disturbing shit. And, you know, it all goes from there. And I have to say that there is some stuff that I want to talk about that is super spoilers. It's really just the ending. Do you think that we should put up a wall, or are you done? Are you ready to be done?
No, I can put up a spoiler wall. That's fine.
Okay.
We can put up a spoiler wall.
I'm going to do it. To be spoiler free, go to 5343. Thank you. Brick.
It's there.
Yeah.
What'd you wanna spoil?
Okay, so at the end. Okay, sorry. So Taylor's brother, air quotes, because who the fuck knows? That part just does not make any fucking sense.
Right.
Yeah, because spoiler, the killer kills Taylor, and Taylor seemingly doesn't have any idea about the cameras and shit. So
yeah,
my question then is, after he kills everybody and then he goes sets up again, was that his intention the whole time to kill them?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I really just didn't care for the ending because of that.
Right.
Because it's like there's so much unanswered. I guess there was like talk of doing a sequel or something, like maybe. But like, yeah, it's really confusing. I don't understand what his intentions are. Well, it's like if he has a record of doing this,
right?
Surely there's a paper trail. Like there's an actual record. Like because he has to buy this shit. Like
right? Yeah, exactly. But you know, you can get away with a lot of things if you pay with cash.
That's true.
But so it is a super big house, so he could be a super rich guy. But it doesn't explain Taylor very well. So this is my theory. My theory is that he started out as just a super voyeur. Like he'd stand outside their house, jack off to watching them sleep and have sex and whatever. And when Taylor was attacked and hurt, and also found out about the recording devices, like he didn't want to get in trouble with his brother either, I think. And then he went, killed his brother, killed all those people. Then he realized...
It's what you do.
Then he realized, shit, I really like killing people. And so now he's just on this binge of running away from a place that he buys, buying another one, and then doing it all again. And maybe he is some rich, important dude, and that's why they keep on giving it to him. And he knows eventually he'll get caught.
Maybe.
But he already fucked up.
Yeah, maybe he's only done it twice. Maybe he's only done it twice, so maybe he's only gotten away with it once. I feel like it was
different places that they showed. I thought that it was different places in the credits. I thought it was like a montage of different places, but maybe not. But I still feel like this is the first one.
All I see...
I feel like this is the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, all I see on Wikipedia is it just says he rents a new property and installs cameras in it. So like, I think it's just one house.
Maybe.
But like, I agree with that. That makes a lot of sense because I honestly had no opinion. I was just like, I saw it and was like, oh.
Yeah.
All right then.
My brain has to try to make sense of things. And that I feel like that works.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That was the only problem I had with this. Like I've already said that I've only had one problem, but my another problem that I had with the movie, I guess, is that I really enjoyed the deconstruction, but then like it didn't leave me with anything to think about. Like even though it has that opportunity because it's like a lot of that ending's not really explained, it just happens.
Right.
I'm just like, yeah, all right, they died.
Yeah.
You know, like okay, moving on. Because, like, I like the characters, but I'm also not in love with the characters, you know? Like
I feel the same. I feel like the wall might have went down at some point, but if it hasn't, we'll make it official here right now. And I feel... Because I feel like you were doing some closing statement talk.
Yeah, because what I was saying was, like, it's they're not like the Cabin in the Woods characters. because those characters are funny, they're smart, they're likable. Like, sure, they have, like, small minor qualities that, like, you know, you can see it in your friends. It's just like, you know, but, like, you could see being friends with them. You could see going on this trip with them to the cabin in the woods. With those four and in the rental, I won't want to go with any of them except maybe Michelle and Mina.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. You know, Charlie and Mina have, like, this kismet thing in their work. So it makes sense that they would want to, like, chill. And, you know, he's married, so his wife's there. And also she's dating his brother. So it's very convenient, but still, there's just a lot of tension there, you can tell, especially between the brothers. And, you know, it made for a decent story, but yeah, it made it harder to like the people. I can agree with you.
And Charlie's a quick asshole too, like, you know, because like he is like the very, like, one of the things that, like, I get nitpicky about a lot with just people in general is, like, if you say something and it's very clear that you don't care about the truth of it, you just said it to say it.
Right.
Like, it's not a fact. You're not putting it out there as a fact. You're just trying to make a point or something along those lines. But like, you say something that sounds like a fact, but it's not. It's like, it's just meant to be a point.
Right.
And that person's like, well, actually, you know, you're completely wrong. It's like, I don't give a fuck that I was wrong. I was just trying to talk about something else. Mm-hmm. But Charlie is very much like that to his brother, where it's like his brother will say something and he's just like, well, actually, Josh.
Yeah. And he's like, you always do this. I don't want to take your damn quiz. And in that moment, I was like, fuck, brothers. Sorry for making you feel
like
bad.
One I remember specifically was like Josh, like, just mentioned something along the lines of, like, what would it be like if, like, T-Rexes and cavemen were, like, you know, met or something like that. And then Charlie's just like, you know, there was, like, 65 million years between.
How many million, Josh?
Yeah. And then Josh is like, dude, I just fucking said something out of, like, curiosity. Like, I was trying to, like,
what are you doing?
Just make a statement.
Yeah, we can just, like, talk about things. Like, you don't have to be a dick. Yeah, that's what I felt a lot about Charlie too.
Yeah.
I feel like I really just wasn't that big of a fan of the script, I feel like. Unfortunately. There was some fun things, like the bro game that they played. I thought that was fun, but also it definitely it felt like a frat boys after that. And I just don't get frat boy vibes from either Dan Stevens or the guy playing Josh, who played Josh again. I don't even know if we said Jeremy Allen White.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know that we did say that. Also, Taylor.
I don't think we did.
Was Toby Huss, if we didn't say.
We did say that one. We said everybody else.
And I guess I don't know if the guy listed under man is the killer guy or not, but it was assume. Anthony Molinari. So
yeah, like I give it 3 stars. I think it's a fun ish little haunted, like not haunted, but like little cabin in the woods kind of film with a maniac, a good deconstruction of characters. Yeah. But I just don't root for all of the characters. You know, there's only 2 that I really care about. And I don't care about them enough to be devastated by their deaths. I do like their deaths. I think the deaths are pretty well set up. Like, Dave Franco does a good job at setting all the scenes and the tension up. Mm-hmm. But it just at the end of the film, I was just like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
you know, I just walked away from it. So 3 stars.
I do think that it's worth checking out, but it's not going to make anybody's top 100 list. That's for sure. I give it a face. Like I said earlier, I'm not so sure about the script. It's not that I felt like I thought the story was honestly pretty good. It was just the dialogue. I wasn't that big a fan of the dialogue. So, you said you don't really root for any of the characters. That's pretty true. I root for Mina a little bit because I feel like she is kind of the odd person out in terms of fitting into the group. The only character that I really root for is Reggie, played by Chunk.
That's fair. Yeah. I do root for Reggie.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I mentioned a long time ago, I might as well make it a running gag on this podcast. If you're worried about dog death or dog injury, dog survives.
The dog does survive. He is fine.
Don't worry.
There is a big scare for a good big chunk of the movie. You're not sure.
That's true. But just knowing deep in your hearts that
he's fine.
You can believe that the dog's fine.
Yeah, dog's fine.
No, I guess it's more apt to say no doggy violence is apparent on screen.
No.
There's no dog deaths or doggy punishment on screen.
No, not at all. So, who wins this genre Smackdown on the potato pick?
Oh, sorry, you cut out. But I did you ask who wins?
That's it. That's what I asked. Yes.
Okay. I choose Cabin in the Woods. Like, I think it's very, I chose it the last time too. You did not. You chose Tucker and Dale, I believe.
I did? Oh, well, maybe I had watched it too much. I haven't finished the episode. I stopped it right after the Evil Dead started on it.
Oh, man.
I'll have to finish this.
I may be wrong. That's what I have in my notes, because I keep a running catalog of what we've reviewed, and I believe you chose Tucker and Dale, whereas I chose Cabin in the Woods. And I still stick by my boy.
Cabin in the Woods definitely beats The Rental. That's for sure. I'd have to rewatch both of them back to back to say if it beat Tucker and Dale, because I do love that movie. It's kind of adorable.
Yeah, they're both good.
In a gross way. So if you are interested in our review of Tucker and Dale versus Evil and The Evil Dead 2, go check out, I think we called it a threesome.
Horror comedy.
Like that. Question mark. Because we didn't know what we were doing yet. No, it was a threesome.
No, we still don't.
Is a threesome... semicolon horror comedy question mark.
Nice.
If we have a threesome, it's still a threesome semicolon, but it's but we put the movie titles now because we decided that was less confusing, except when we got to Super Scary Franchise Part 6, which was Monday's episode, I decided putting those titles would be too long. So it is still Super Scary Franchise 6.
Jesus. We suck at this. We're awful. I love it. I love it all.
I do too.
But yeah, thanks for joining us for this special potato pick episode. Yeah. Sorry for the disjointedness that's caused by internet separation. I miss you.
Internet separation anxiety. That's what we have.
It's the roughest, man.
Yeah.
It's the roughest and the toughest. But no, I'm happy to always have you here. Happy to always be here. Until next time, I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. Till the next time. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.